when you're trying to explain something on a discovery call, in a video, from in front of a room, actually ask yourself, like, how could I say this in one sentence and summarize it and be more clear?
Cue the non-existent hold music.
I know, we got to get music
There's no
going on
music.
this. I'm excited to introduce not only a dear friend of ours, but also a Fast Foundations alumna and somebody who just continually shows up on social media, teaches from the heart, and really just pours into everybody that she meets. And she also joined last week and took a really active part in it. And it was just great to see you showing up, Julie. So grateful to have you here. Thank you for being here to help show a little bit more about how we can amplify your voice in business. So I'd like to introduce Julie Menden, who is a speaking and business mentor, a high performance coach, and a speaker. And she runs a boutique coaching and training company, helping organizations and businesses and leaders find, own, and use their confident voice to reach their peak performance and potential. Julie, take it away. The stage is yours.
Hello. Oh my gosh, I see so many familiar faces. I just love it, this energy. And yeah, the session last week, Jim, I'm still talking about it and all of this stuff. So Jim did a session last week on AI. And I will admit I'm a slow to adopt technology. I'm such an old school mentality. I'm like, I just want to get in front of people in rooms. But I learned a lot, and I'm already talking to some of my clients about how they can incorporate this as well. So super excited. Yeah, I've been talking about you. I'm like, do you guys know that you could take a long form video and put it in this thing and get short? So yes, I've been talking you up for sure. But I'm really excited today to talk about my absolute favorite topic, which is speaking. And when I say speaking, I don't mean just speaking from stage, which I absolutely love to do and love to help other people do. How are you speaking and showing up about you, your business, and what you do? And we're going to talk through all the things. So when I was talking to Jim a little bit about what could we bring to this group that would be really relevant for everybody, this topic came up about how can we really make sure that we are all amplifying not only our voice, but our leadership in our businesses. I know we all have different businesses. We all have different focuses. So today what I want to talk about is how can you speak with more clarity and confidence and conviction, the 3 C's we're going to talk about as a leader in your business. And then the second thing is how do you position yourself as an expert? So that's what I want to dive into. The first thing is this question that I posed to one of my clients, which was, can you say that in one sentence? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about a story about an executive that I was working with. So the number one thing people come to work with me is on the words I hear the most is confidence and communication. How can I communicate better from the boardroom, from the stage, in videos, right? And so John came to me. He's an executive at a company. He's been there for a very long time. And he wanted to work on his overall executive presence and communication skills. Here's the thing is John was really smart. He's really experienced. He's got a lot of tenure at his company. He runs a ton of different teams. But when he got in front of a room of people, it's as if all of his knowledge and experience and skills went poof. He couldn't figure out how to articulate it. And so what he would do is he would get so far into the weeds that people were totally losing track with what he was talking about. He would lose his credibility because he couldn't articulate what it was. And see, John had to pitch a lot of people on his ideas. He had to try and sell executive teams on making changes in the organization. And so when he couldn't communicate, he was losing credibility in what he was doing. So one of the sessions we had, he did a little bit of a pitch to me on what he was going to pitch to this executive leadership board. And he went on for several minutes to get home this point. And I paused and I said, all right, John, I want you to say that in one sentence. And his face, first of all, his face was like, oh my gosh. So he laughed, he took a deep breath, he thought for a quick moment, and he proceeded to summarize everything that he had just said into one really clear, really succinct and impactful sentence. And I knew exactly what it was that he was trying to get across. And I see this so much in our space with leaders, with entrepreneurs, or small business owners, is we talk too much. Talk less and be more clear and really captivate your audience. And that's what I love helping people to really do is how can you, so that's one of the first takeaways I want you to think about. When you're trying to explain something on a discovery call, in a video, from in front of a room, actually ask yourself, like, how could I say this in one sentence and summarize it and be more clear? So I want to geek out today on all the things. So my love for communication and speaking has been a very long relationship. I've been in a relationship for this a long time. So I loved doing public speaking as a kid. I was actually on leadership boards and talking to groups as a child. My favorite subject in school was public speaking and English. Did not love math or science, but I loved to get in front of a room. I ended up getting a degree in interpersonal communication. And then I found myself in every single job that I was in front of groups of people, speaking, training, and helping them to learn how to communicate more effectively. So I've been doing this for over 10 years. This picture was back in, I think, 2017 or 2018 when I would lead hundreds of people through this training, Kohl's Corporate. So we've been in a relationship, me and communication, for a while. I know some of you know me, but not all of you do. So I just wanted to give like really high level context. So corporate leader, worked for a large Fortune 500 company as well as public sector in leadership development. So I designed and delivered trainings for leaders all the way up through like the C-suite executives on things like presenting with confidence, speaking with confidence, influence, change management. So a lot of leadership type skills. And then I shifted that and I turned that into my own business where now I help people do the same thing. So I do one-on-one coaching with executives and entrepreneurs, helping them to really find, own, and use their voice. I do a lot of keynote speaking myself and a lot of leadership development training within organizations. So obviously I'm a speaker. I was featured in a book this past year, which was awesome. And I have my podcast, It Starts With You, and I'm a member of Forbes Coaches Council. So why I share all this is because I'm going to show you how do I use this to really build and amplify my business and my voice to help with growth. So I'm just taking a peek here at chat, make sure. I'm unavailable for that feedback from my husband, available from Julie. Christina, I love it. Okay, so why does this matter? I think you probably know why this matters, but the ripple effect that this has when you can learn to really amplify your voice and your authentic voice in business. I don't want you to show up like me. I don't want you to show up like the other people that you see on stage or in front of rooms. I want you to show up like you because that's how you're going to attract in the right opportunities and the right business for you. You are a representation of your brand, of your personal brand, the way that you communicate, your presence. This has a ripple effect into everything. It builds your credibility in your space. It builds your know and trust factor so that people want to work with you. It's you being authentic. I always talk to people about this, is using your organic content to attract in the right people to you and the right opportunities to you. And you do that through the way that you are showing up, your presence, the way you use your voice in your business. And it also allows you to influence people and to create the impact that you want. So when you can learn how to speak with power and with confidence, it really impacts every stage of your business. So I'm going to tell you another quick client about a client, Elaine, who Elaine was an executive in a very male dominated industry. And she also would have to go to a lot of networking events and introduce herself. And as soon as she, very skilled, very experienced, she moved up her ladder really quickly, growing the organization really quickly. She would have to do that like 2-minute, maybe not even, I think it was like a minute pitch. If you've been to those networking events where it's like speed dating, you like introduce yourself really quickly. She would get so nervous just saying her name and her title that she would start to shake her hand. Anyone get like that? Your hand starts to shake, like sweating. And she would get so nervous because she didn't like speaking in front of people. And she had a lot of sort of imposter syndrome when she had to say her title, which is a whole nother thing. But again, this was really impacting her credibility. So whether it is that you want to get better and more confident speaking up on video or pitching yourself or on sales calls, or if you're somebody who's, I want to be on those big stages. Anybody who like, I want to be on the stages? Do we have anybody? Yeah, I see some hands. Like if you want to be on the big stages. So whether you do or you don't, you being able to show up and really authentic and confident and draw people into you is key. So being a strong and confident speaker is one of the best things that you can do for your career. And I said it before, but to influence others, to get your ideas across, to really grow your business. So I'm going to share with you 2 things I want to talk about today. Is first, because I know we're like short on time. So first, it's just going to be the 3 C's for what you can do to show up more confident as a speaker in any area. And the second thing is, how do you actually use that now to amplify your role as a leader in your space? So when I talk about the 3 C's, it's really these like the sweet spot, I say, how you can amplify your voice in business is when you show up with clarity, confidence, and conviction, clarity in your message, confidence in yourself, and conviction in what you are saying. So from a really high level perspective, the first thing I want you to think about is land the plane. Have you ever heard someone talking and they're just rambling on and you're sitting there going, what is the point? What do? You check out, you check your phone, you zone out. And you're like, just land the plane. That's what I want you to think about when you're communicating. Again, whether this is on video, whether this is when you're in front of a group of people, yep. I want you to say, just land the plane. Be really clear. And how you can do that is think of what your objective is. What's my point and why does it matter? That's what I want you to get across. What's my point and why does it matter? When you say less, it means more, right? When you say less, it means more. On discovery calls, on videos, introducing yourself at events. I don't need to hear about every little thing that you've ever done and your mom and your brother and your sister. Like, I don't care. I don't care. And most people don't care. I want to know how you can help me and why it matters to me. So what's your point and why does it matter? We talk about conviction. More people need conviction. This is the what I do matters and I need to help you with this thing. So when you're speaking, if you have conviction in the way that you communicate yourself, you're going to get out there. People are going to be like, wow, this person is real. They care about what they're talking about. So conviction is the state of a mind of a person who is sure what they say is true. And don't you want to believe that everything you talk about with your business, this is true. I can help you. You need this thing. So the energy behind your words matters. If you think of somebody who just speaks with such energy and passion, you see that person where they just suck you in. They're like, I just want to be around them. I just want to be in their world. That's what that conviction is. So I want you to think about when you're talking about your business and what you do, how much conviction do you have that you believe that this is something that other people need? That if you don't help people with this thing, you're almost doing them a disservice. That's conviction. And then showing up authentically and confidently. How can I make sure that I'm really showing up authentic to who I am and confident, and everything else shifts? Because then you're not trying so hard. You're not trying to be like anybody else. You're just showing up like yourself. I think one of the greatest compliments when somebody says is just Julie, I like your energy. Because that's just me being me, right? It's just you being you. Okay, so that's the nutshell of clarity, confidence, and conviction. Now, the last piece I want to get to before we move into groups is now how do you take this, you showing up this way, you being able to speak more clearly, you being able to have a passion for what you do and who you are, and how do you get this out there? And I use the word amplify. It's how do you get this out there to more people? Now, I'm biased. I think speaking is the best way to do it, but I'm going to talk about a couple different ways. So the first thing is, have you Googled yourself? Which honestly, when I was writing that out, I feel like it sounds dirty. But it's not. Typing into Google. Have you Googled yourself? Because this is you building your thought leadership. What comes up when you, I love that you have a sign for that, RT. That is amazing. So if you Google yourself, this is you, your brand, your leadership, your voice out there. What comes up when you Google yourself? That is how you are showing up as a leader in your space. And when you think about it, this is how are you building your credibility, your visibility, and your authority, which is why I talk about speaking and communication so much, because this is the way that you build credibility. This is the way that you get in front of people and you build that visibility, right? And also your authority. Why does somebody want to work with you? What can you offer them? So I'm going to give you a couple things to think about for this. And I'll give you just some of my own examples instead of client examples. I'm going to give you some of my own. So the first thing is, how can you position yourself as an expert? In amplifying your voice means getting featured in things, right? So the majority of the speaking that I get and the majority of how I get keynote speaking, how I get in front of organizations is because I focus so much on building my thought leadership. And one of the ways I do that is through articles. So my challenge for you is, what are you doing to get out there so that when you Google yourself, when someone else Googles you, they see that you are an authority in this space. So somebody actually set up a discovery call with me for something for my business, and they said, oh, I Googled you. So for example, getting featured in different articles. When I've done some different talks, they've ended up online, getting featured as a top coach in Milwaukee. I'm part of the Forbes Coaches Council. So you can see when you look me up that I've contributed to articles, I've spoken at events, right? So I've gotten featured in Forbes a few times. That really amplifies my impact because I share the shit out of that, right? It's, oh, look at this. I was quoted. Obviously, I'm building a lot of that authority in that space, and it's getting out there in front of a lot of other people. And then speaking, right? So how are you getting in front of rooms? Even if you don't want to be a speaker, if it's just a way for you to do lead gen into your business, or if it's just another potential revenue pillar for you, How are you getting in front of groups, masterminds, things like this, on podcast, all of that. So using speaking as one of those ways to really get out there because you're getting in front of large groups and audiences of ideal audiences that then could filter into your business. I was featured in this book this year, so obviously sharing that a lot and building my thought leadership there and being able to talk about that. And then the other thing is getting testimonials. So if you're not getting testimonials for your business or when you're doing things, that's a big place to start. And using LinkedIn, I'm not going to dive into LinkedIn, but I help clients optimize LinkedIn for speaking in their business. If you're not on LinkedIn, it's got huge searchability, so you should be, but also getting testimonials and things on LinkedIn, another way to really get your voice out there. And I just want you to think about as we wrap up here is how can you use any of these free opportunities to create a lot of growth for you in your business. So I was a free speaker. I occasionally still do free speaking for an event, and it ended up turning into getting paid for another event, ended up turning into getting paid from that event, ended up turning to clients. So when you get out there and really get in front of more, as I like to say, places and spaces of people, you create this ripple effect and this wheel that just keeps going. So I really want you to think about, I know this was like fire hose, but I really want you to think about of all the things that I talked about, what are you doing to really amplify your voice in your business? Whether it's focusing on how you are communicating yourself, or if it's taking things you've already done and getting it out there and sharing it more, or maybe you're like, I need to build more thought leadership and I need to get in front of more groups or get featured more. Whew, I feel it's like speed. Okay, so obviously I want to stay connected. I'm going to stay on, but I'm on all the things, all the places at Julie Menden.
Julie, that was fantastic. Thank you so much for diving in and sharing everything with us. You guys know that we try to do this to compress so much knowledge into a short period of time, just to really pull everything together and give all of us busy entrepreneurs an opportunity to learn something awesome every single week from an expert in their industry. Julie, so grateful to have you part of this community, to have you show up, to have you teach and share with everybody. And the best way for those of you that have ever been part of the program before, you know the best way that we can honor our speaker is what we do a little thing called rapid fire takeaways. So we simply go around the room, we take an opportunity to just say, hey, my name is this is where I'm from. Really quickly, this is my business, this is what I do, and this is one thing that I'm grateful for that I learned, something that came up for me, something that I wrote down and I circled and I'm going to come back to. So I'm happy to start that. Julie, I love the can you say it in one sentence? That was a great way to say it. It's something that I think I can remind myself as I'm about to speak as well. Is do I need to continue or can I just get it across in one sentence and put a period at the end? That was really great. So I'd love to go around the room. Feel free to please raise your virtual hand or throw it in the chat and I'll quarterback it and go through. Christina, you sent me a message that you'd love to go for a rapid fire takeaway.
Hi, everyone. I'm Christina Bartold. I'm the CEO of the Social Snippet. We do social media and podcasting management. I'm Julie's biggest fan, so I love to see Julie wherever I can. But what I was going to say is, Julie, you reminded me of how important it is to just be like ourselves. And that was something that it really came across is that level of you're Julie and you're so successful and that's like part of your energy and my energy is different. And we all have opportunity for showing up in that way. Thanks so much, Julie, for your time. I appreciate it always.
Thank you, Christina. Jillian, you're next.
So I'm definitely here because I love Julie. I love everything that she does, and I want to definitely support her. Julie, a great job. My name is Jillian Murphy. I am a sales and business expert. Been doing it for 22 years and love to be in community. I think my biggest takeaway was we have all these articles, we have all these testimonials, we have all these things, but how are we actually leveraging them, right? So even when you were talking about like your stuff in Forbes and all these magazine articles, I was like, I have all these magazine articles, but I was like, I don't know where they're at or how they're being published. So I'm actually going to go and do some work and being like making sure that they're on the top of the Google search. So that was really an insightful thing. And I really appreciate you always.
Thank you, Jillian. All right. Next up, I have Amy.
My biggest takeaway from Julie today was what's my point and why does it matter? Really being able to clearly articulate that because so often we do fill silence with words, which is what I'm doing right now. So in a nutshell, I help service-based entrepreneurs who are ready for more flexibility and freedom, break through 5K months without sacrificing their most valuable assets, time and energy through one-on-one coaching. I'm over on Instagram at Amy Trout.
Thank you, Amy. Appreciate it. And next up, we've got Benu.
So great to be here. My name is Binu. I see so many beautiful faces. I just like love many of you. So sending that out there. So happy to be here. I'm a soul alignment coach. So I help people opt out of stress, overwhelm, fear, anxiety, anger, and help them come back to their own truth and really start living it out authentically. So I love that word, authenticity, Julie. Lots resonated. I've got so many things in the background that I want to do something with and put them out there. But it's the one sentence and what's my point and why does it matter? I just came from a lunch where I just heard myself talk way too much. And so that really landed. That's something I really want to step into. What's my point? What does it matter? One sentence. Big challenge, but thank you.
Love it. Thank you so much. Ronnie, please come on.
Thank you, Julie, for this presentation. Appreciate it so much. The thing that I really took away and that hit for me was conviction. I don't think that I want everybody to like me and I don't want to tip the boat or anything. So I think I need to do more conviction. I need to stand in my space a little bit more than I have in the past. And this is what I stand for. And this is what I'm all about. So I'm a leadership coach. I also do speaking and training and facilitating. And I am just outside of West Des Moines, Iowa. Nice to meet everyone and nice to be here. Thank you for having this meeting for us, Jim and our team.
Thanks so much for being here with us, Ronnie. Appreciate it. Julie, if there's anything else you'd like to leave anybody with, if there's any way that they can connect with you on a deeper level, follow up, or anything else, just want to offer that to you one more time and share with the group.
Yeah, thank you all so much for the kind words. And yeah, I think the last thing I would just say is like the takeaway that you all had is just be you, be more you, and you'll be amazed at the opportunities that come to you. And I would absolutely love to connect with all of you who I'm not already connected with on all the places. Like I said, if you're on LinkedIn, it's Julie Menden, Instagram, julie.menden. And I would just absolutely love to connect and learn more about you. So thank you guys so much.
Hey, this is Jim Carter. Thank you for joining the Fast Foundations podcast. We're excited to try this new format. We're grateful you were here to be part of it with us. If you missed the live event, you can join us every Wednesday. Sign up at fastfoundations.com/office hours, and we'll see you next week.